All right, Jeff Mayweather. Over the weekend, a lot of boxing fans got all excited because finally Floyd kind of retaliated and called out Manny himself. What were your thoughts on what he said and how he said it on that program?
I think he said it the way it should have been said. I mean, Manny's not the fighter he once was. At one point in time, it should have been equal, where, you know, it probably was a 50-50 split. But I mean, since that time, Manny's lost. He's been knocked out. So, and not only that, he's not doing good numbers. So at the end of the day, you know, I mean, just like Paulie Malignaggi said, he should get a third or whatever before he offs him.
What do you think? I mean, what do you have any idea what prompted him to finally? You know, he's always said stuff, but he's never really come out and said, "Let's make this fight." Do you think you know, Manny finally got to him with the commercials and all that kind of stuff, or what do you think brought about, you know, Floyd finally doing?
I don't think none of that had anything to do with it. I mean, I think Floyd already had his mind made up anyway, and so basically, and behind the scenes, the fight was trying to be made, but it's just one of those situations that, you know, everybody was just barking and saying what they think without knowing anything.
Do you think, obviously everything's going to be on Floyd's terms, do you think Bob Arum and Manny are going to be able to swallow their pride and kind of accept or let Floyd dictate? You know, before that they wanted to argue times and places and money and all this. Well, this, you know, at this point,
I mean, at this point they don't have no option.
I mean, do you think they'll entertain that, or
they still might? And I mean, and then they'll entertain it, but everybody, you know, will still point their finger at Floyd.
I saw Bob Arum this morning was already saying that you know, that wasn't a good date because Cinco de Mayo, neither one of them are Mexican, that kind of thing. Do you think Bob being very involved in this could be a potential stumbling block, given that Floyd's not a fan of his? Should Bob just be quiet?
I mean, I don't know if Bob should be quiet. I mean, he's a promoter, so I understand his position as well. And I think that, you know, and it's a situation in which, you know, Bob, you know, unfortunately never did make any no money off of Floyd. You know, I mean, Floyd became a pay-per-view attraction after he left Bob. So I mean, there's lots and lots of money that wasn't made, that, you know, that potentially could have been made. I mean, it was unfortunate that, you know, Floyd had to wait his turn behind De La Hoya, and he wasn't ready to. You know, I mean, I mean, he wasn't. You know, he didn't want to wait his turn behind De La Hoya. So basically, when his contract ran out, I mean, he left.
Floyd is so bitter to Bob Arum and his time there. Is this, even though he says he wants to fight, is it really kind of walking on eggshells for everyone, for Floyd especially, because one thing that Bob does that kind of pisses Floyd off could cancel the fight?
I mean, no, I mean, he's Bob's fighter, so Bob really is the one who's going to pull the trigger. If the fight's going to happen, it's going to happen. But and at the end of the day, you know, I mean, basically, it's a situation in which Floyd just, you know, he made it public. He made a public statement saying that, yeah, okay, let's make the fight. You know, and with that being said, you know, I mean, who the fans are going to turn on? Are they going to turn on Floyd? Are they going to turn on Bob? You know, I think that Manny's fans, of course, they're going to always turn on Floyd. It doesn't matter, no matter what, because they think just because Manny did something 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, that shit don't mean nothing today. You know, I mean, Floyd's steady winning. I mean, beating young fighters, up-and-coming fighters, so on and so forth. And I mean, and you know, and Manny's been knocked out, and of course, I mean, he got robbed by Tim Bradley, I thought, but still, I mean, it's still counted on his record as a loss. You know, and with that being said, I mean, he has no power to really demand anything.
This fight's been one fans have wanted for years, of course. At this point, if they met in May, what kind of, I mean, I won't ask your prediction, obviously, but what kind of fight, what kind of action we see at this point, considering where they're at their careers now?
I mean, that's something you have to wait and see. I mean, I can't predict how the fight's going to go or anything like that. I just think that, I think Floyd's much better than him. You know, I always thought he was, so, I mean, he should win. How he's going to win, I have no idea, but I just think that he'll win.
I mean, 5 years, you know, or whatever after when they won the fight originally, do you think they still can put on as entertaining a fight as it would have been back then, or is it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really. I don't think it really matters that much as much as it did before, because I think that it's just something that the people just want to see, you know. And I mean, and unfortunately, you know, it'd be bad if the fight doesn't happen. You know, and also, you know, once again, you know, people will always say what they, you know, what always happened when a fight should have happened and it didn't happen at the time it was supposed to happen. Basically, then people are gonna say, oh well, oh he did this because of this, or this because of that. But the one thing that never will change is this: is that Floyd would never be younger than Manny Pacquiao. So with that being said, you can't use the fact that Manny Pacquiao's old.
You know, you've been asked probably as much as anyone, you know, or saying why, you know, Floyd didn't take this fight. Now that Floyd's come out and said he wants it, are you happy about that? And are you excited the possibility of this fight, you know, maybe getting made? And you don't have to answer that question anymore.
I mean, it don't matter to me. I mean, it's not me stepping in there, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Floyd's he's his own boss, and so he can do what he want to do. And I mean, and that's the one thing that he can do, because he don't need Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao needs him. You know, so I mean, it doesn't matter to me. If he doesn't fight Manny, I don't care. You know, there's a whole bunch of people that act like his legacy depends on it. It don't.
Well, Floyd said he wants it. Manny says he wants it. Arum says he wants it. Everybody wants to fight.
Everybody wants it, but it might not happen.
Well, as I was going to say, do you think, considering how volatile the situation is and everybody's egos and the business, you know, and then obviously the massive amounts of money involved, ultimately, do we see this fight in May?
I mean, the fight should get made for various reasons. I mean, it's a fight that people are still clamoring for, you know, and it's a fight that, you know, you still have people that actually believe in Manny Pacquiao, you know, and then you have, you know, of course you have people that believe in Floyd and feel that Floyd is the best fighter. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's not really so much about Bob. It's more about Manny himself, because if Floyd said that, it's up to Manny now to meet him halfway. Just like it was when Manny was at the peak of his career, when Floyd caught him out then too, and he refused to take a blood test. So I mean, you know, it's one of those situations where, I mean, hopefully it'll happen. It happened because it's good for boxing. You know, that's the reason why I want it to happen. But at the end of the day, I'm not like everybody else. Oh, Floyd has to fight him for his legacy. Who gives a fuck about that shit? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he walked away. If he's 48-0, 49-0, whatever it is, his record, he's broken every record there is to be broken in boxing, other than Rocky Marciano's record.
All right, Jeff, appreciate it.
Yeah, man, chump.